And hey everybody, it's KassienBlackcloak back again, and I've got another Annette Birkin build I'm going to go over here. And I think I'm going to call this one the Undead Apocalypse build. It's kind of like similar to, but a flip side of my Nightmare Annette build, where with Nightmare Annette I focused on trying to spam as many high cost creatures as I could. This one is kind of the opposite of that. I'm looking to spam as many economical creatures as I can. So this is actually less of an Area 3 build, more of an Area 1 and 2 build. Looking to overwhelm them early with a lot of creatures, which you'll see in the video. This one's definitely weaker in Area 3 comparatively, but this is a pretty good build. I've had some pretty good luck with it, so I'm going to show you a couple of matches as we go over the build and the deck here and the equipment, and I'm going to show you one where we actually show you what it takes to beat this build, to where you're going to see a really coordinated high-level team fight like hell to get through it, but they do it. But let's go over this. So starting out here, very kind of similar to our Nightmare Annette build, we got the Fury on Birkin because I like the, I just myself like the ability to jump out and get the time back after my first 30 seconds or so after the first enrage. I'd like to have Birkin out more often. Then we got buffs here. Greatly enhances the effects of all creature buffs. You could switch this out to healing the creatures, but I like the greatly enhanced buffs. I'd rather just, with this build, you can just spam more if they're dying. It doesn't matter. You can just put more out. You can just replace everything they kill. Down here for Zombie Apocalypse, we got greatly increases creature HP. With the recent changes in the hotfix with lower cost creatures like regular zombies, dealers, jesters, infectious zombies, partially armored, like everything but the tough zombie, basically, they got a boost in HP. This build actually helps make them a lot more practical. Still going with the tough zombie berserker aura and the concentrated enhancer, because by the time we get to Area 3, this is nice to buff those creatures up a little bit. I do love the concentrated enhancer compared to the detonators. The detonators really can actually cause bigger problems when you run in a swarm. They can actually kill your other creatures. So that's definitely something I recommend changing on any Annette build. And then instead of the triple dogs, I like this guy because he shares his buffs with other nearby creatures. So let's say that I've only got like, I need to get the concentrated enhancer out of my hand, and I got one of these guys down, I could hit him with it, then everything else I spawn is going to have all those buffs if they're in range of him. So this guy's a mainstay of all of my builds with Annette. I like him. Plus, just more tough zombies is better. Now for the equipment, we've got Fresh Blood 3, because it makes the creatures a lot more aggressive, they grab more. It just makes your creatures work a lot better for you. Got the miniature reactor here for the bioenergy recharge. We don't need 2 reactors with this build because we got cheaper cards we're going to go over in a moment. Resilient Skin 3, self-explanatory, makes the creatures even tougher to kill. And Razor Claws 2, just to finish out the build. Now, on this point, there are a few options. I refer to this last spot kind of as a utility slot. You can actually go a few different directions. I've tested it with both Augmented Limbs, Viral Canister 2, and Virulent Claws, along with the Bloody Fangs. I tend to see better success with the increased damage because it makes them, that's a moderate bump to attack power, and where these are weaker creatures, it does make them hit harder. And the infection, it seems to take care of itself because I'm spamming a lot more regular infectious zombies more often, so the infection generally takes care of it. With the changes they made, Virulent Claws, not as good as it used to be. Augmented Limbs is cool, but I like them doing more damage than moving faster. Honestly, I mean, the match you're going to see where I'll lose, 3 of them get away. One of them I managed to terminate, but you're going to see that that's the one I'm using Augmented Limbs, and they managed to get through that. Now, that's probably because it was a good team, but this is... I'll do some more testing, and I might do an update later. But for right now, I'm running this, and all the matches you're going to see pretty much. But I'll mention the one that has the Augmented Limbs. So that's your equipment. So you're looking at creatures that are going to be more aggressive, tougher, hit harder, and we got the reactor pushing this thing to give us more bioenergy, especially because I don't want to get the deck getting clogged up. So I don't have the small reactor in the build here. Now for the deck, I do have the tough zombie, and I have the liquor here, and I said this is a cheap creature build, and it is. And we're going to go over that because this little baby right here makes that possible. But for the native cheap creatures, we got the crawling zombie because he's free. And a lot of times now they will grab for the legs, so they're good to put back in there, and they only give 5 seconds if they're killed, so it doesn't bleed much time. and those crawling zombies will sometimes do work for you. We got the regular zombie here. We got the zombie dog because they're fast, harder to hit, and with the berserker they still move pretty quick, and they help to, you know, just spread out some damage and cause some chaos. You know, more stuff they have to deal with, the better. And then we got the infectious zombie here, or our infection being out on the field. The liquor is self-explanatory. Liquors are just great, especially with the way they work for me, at least. And the tough zombie here, because it's good to have that, you know, chonky boy out there sometimes to soak up some ammo, because, you know, this is also a resource drainer. You're looking to just drain their resources like any swarm build does, basically, along with overwhelming them so they can't defend themselves. Now this little guy right here, you're going to see, is the idea with this is you want to stack it ideally on both the tough zombie and the liquor. However, at least on the liquor, you want to get at least, if you can get 1 or 2 of these on the liquor. I have actually had matches where I've gotten the liquor down to 1 cost on this, along with other creatures on my thing. So this is actually a beautiful card, and I like it better than discount because it carries over between cameras. It applies to the card in your hand, not the camera you're trying to spam out of, especially because I don't have the shield on this build. Now for needles, we're running berserker and regen. The energy leech isn't a big deal in this build, so I'm going to go with regen to make the zombies, you know, the creatures a little bit harder to kill. They're going to have some regeneration there, and then of course efficiency mod creatures. That's essential because we're not running the zombie apocalypse that gives you creature efficiency. So we need this to get the cost of these down natively across the board. So we're looking at a native in-hand cost once we get this guy out of 3, 1, 1, 2, 6. And of course this guy's always 0, but we stack this guy on the liquor to make him more affordable. So we'll put less liquors out probably overall than my other build, but we'll have enough, mainly. And especially once this thing starts stacking, yeah, you can see, you'll see there's plenty of creatures out there. And you know, keep in mind also when you're playing a build like this that your creature limitations are that you can have up to 8 creatures in area 1 active, 10 creatures in area 2, and 12 in area 3. And you want to make sure when you're in the middle of spamming creatures, you're watching how many you have out, because you don't want to start if you start overwhelmingly going over that, it's going to start pulling creatures you already have on the field off. And those creatures a lot of times are already going to have buffs on them, especially in area 3, and that's bad for you because if they're relatively close by, give them a second to try and catch up. They will come toward activity. They tend to seek it out. They will track across. I've had it actually them track across the map completely in the casino, out of one room, down the stairs, across the central area, up to the next stop, trying to come in and back me up. So that's you know, important. Now, depending on the situation, sometimes it might be better to have more creatures in that room instantly. So it's a judgment call, but I try to keep that in mind. Anyway, though, we're going to go ahead and jump into some matches here that I've got recorded and show you the build in action. See you in a second. So this is just a random match I jumped into before I'm going to start working on the video and recording the segment where I go over the build itself. So we just picked a random match. Really good comp against this build, actually. Got a Becca, Martin, a January, and a Samuel. I mean, the Martin's not fully leveled up, but he's high level enough. I mean, this should be a pretty good test. And I'm just going in cold. I haven't played it all today, so we'll see how this goes.
Your presence here was not an outcome I anticipated all these years ago. It was all a mistake. But I can erase that mistake.
Alright, so let's go up here to 5 now that we bought ourselves a minute down there. Let's put a crawling boy at the door here. And let's use the efficiency mod to put it on the liquor. Now put a regular zombie in here. Another crawling zombie.
You don't have to activate that.
Alright, so now let's go over here and start getting ready for when they're going to be making their way this way. We're just going to leave that room to kind of take care of itself, really. Okay, 2 cost liquor, we'll get that out. There we go, and we're going to get berserk on that. We get energy. At least try to. Go. And I'd like to get regen. Yes, nice. There we go. Lock the door. Beef it up, put the dog in there. See how everything's going here splendidly, actually. Let's go ahead and turn off the light over here. Another energy booster creatures down. For the liquor. Now with everything I've done, they should take them a minute to get over here. Yeah, it looks like one of them's down already. Yes, Samuel's over there. He's fucked.
Each step they take brings you closer to
And yeah, I
death.
know I'm putting the zombie's face in the wrong way. Okay, so I'm maxed out on my creature count, so I'm actually taking away from myself now. I gotta look and see what I got around. Okay, so they're coming out of that door. Let's see. Okay, you're getting up. Good.
Even as you fight, your end draws closer.
And we're going to put the creature booster again on the liquor. That's the main feature of this build, is wanting to make sure you get the cost of the liquors down with that energy booster. It really helps out quite a bit. So yeah, these guys are just...
surprised.
They're fucked.
I had been
This is crazy. See, when I tend to... I mean, I'm not even really trying to win here. I mean, I just literally put down some creatures and I'm letting them do the thing. I haven't even had to intervene here. Okay, that's max lock level. Yeah, see, they're infected. They're dying.
So much more I must do.
Wow.
But thank you for making this easy for me.
No, I'm gonna have to put a match that I lost in here just to show you the Area 3 part of it.
For allowing me to keep this contained.
Escape.
Best laid plans.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. See, that's. I mean, it's like an undead apocalypse. I love it. They're just swarms of zombies so quick with this build. I mean, this is really. I mean, you know, this is like the flip side of my Nightmare Annette build. This is just low-cost creatures other than the liquor, just a lot of them, and beefing them up. It's kind of like Augmented Army 2.0 in a way, but... Alright, well, we'll show you another match here in just a second. Alright, so here we go with another match. Jumping in here on the casino, it looks like. Now, this is a point when I'm going post-commentary. During the breakdown of that first match, I was doing, excuse me, live commentary. So what I'm doing here, I'm dropping a couple of creatures just to get started, turn off the light, lock the door. Pretty standard for me. So I'm just going to be loading it up here. Now you'll notice different strategy than the first match, because that one I played this morning, or this afternoon when I started working on the video. This is one that I recorded a couple of days ago when I was play testing the build. So you see a little bit of a different strategy here, but you're going to see similar results. So they're shooting at the camera, of course. Now I've got a couple creatures going here. Was going to try to get regen, shot out the camera with them up, but eventually did the job. So, alright, so we're back here. So they're up in what I think of as room 5, because that's where camera 5 and 6 are, where I got one thing. So I got up here a little late, started putting some stuff down, just trying to get in their way here. Notice I put this zombie behind her. She moved. Of course, no one's out of the room yet. Back over here, lock the door again, put down some more creatures. Got a liquor there. Put a crawling zombie to his feet for when he tries to break the door down. Hopefully you can get to him and grab him. Once again, turn off the light. Everything you can do to make it as hard as possible for the survivors. So jumping ahead over here. The thing with this is you don't want to react to what they're doing. You want to try to stay ahead of them. If you notice, that's what I'm doing. I'm jumping ahead of them, putting stuff down they got to deal with to get to the objectives. And eventually I'll do a video going over my preset. If you can see, it's basically just liquors. I mean, it's just, you know, having some liquors and other whatever creatures I can afford out at the time to start with. Having liquors out early is usually a pretty good thing to have. Alright, so yeah, we got a Molotov going here. Playing this as zombie to reduce the damage. Try to get some grabs in. Notice Chill there karate kicking me. Alright, so as soon as they come in, turn off the light. Make them have to do that. Because that's like a second they've got that one of them's got to be dealing with it. You know, there's got the liquor in there, putting some enhancement on it. So once again, here, so you can basically just spamming creatures in their way. And he noticed I'm able to just spam creatures almost non-stop. I can just keep putting them down and keep putting them down due to how cheap they are. So back over here to camera 7, lock the doors. Putting a tough zombie in the way. Put regen on it so it's harder to kill. Now notice Martin here, he's gotten grabbed by one of those crawling zombies I put down. See, they actually do work for you now. And that's also why I usually keep the light off so they don't see the zombies that are on the ground. So now they got to break down the door while they're dealing with that. So go over here, put stuff in their way for when they get over here. Now I know a lot of masterminds at this point would stop putting creatures down because they're afraid of bleeding time, but I'm more wanting to draw out the resources and do what I can to make them have to spend everything, get in the way, delay them. Because see, that gave them 5 seconds, but it took them longer than 5 seconds to get up there and deal with that. So that made it worth it. Get out of the camera so they don't break it. Don't give them that time. So right now they got like 6 minutes, right? So you can see this is a good team. They're doing well. Not like in the first game they were, not a bad team, but I just got all over them really quick and just ate them up. So that's what I'm going to be trying to do here, is just wear them down. It's just going to take me longer. So get a small pack out going to start with to draw their fire, basically delay them, get in their way. Check to see where Yorick is. He has a tendency to spawn there in that spot. He's really good there. That tends to be where I see him mostly now. Thank goodness he stopped spawning right over there next to the on the other side of the next to the exit where they could just shoot him when they come out of the door. Now, once again here, putting down some creatures because I'm expecting at least some of them will come this way because I want to check that room up there at the very north end. Now going over here to the room, the hallway where Yorick is, getting set up. Turn off the lights, lock the door. Once again, just start putting stuff down here to protect Yorick, draw their fire, make sure that if they're trying to focus fire on him, the other creatures are going to go at him. Now, if you notice, one of them is down in what I think of as room 18, the big VIP room, the ballroom. And they're looking for Yorick in there. They're seeing there's a security device. That's fine. This is all fine. This is fine. I mean, I expect they're going to kill Yorick. They're going to get the card. It's just trying to stay on them and stay in their way. Just make sure that they're not getting an easy way out. They don't get a free ride. So I'm getting those creatures all buffed up. So now I'm going down here, locking this door, and I'm going to start putting creatures down here for when they make it out of there and start coming down this way. Because there's actually 2 devices in my preset on this side. There's the one up there in the corner and the one down in this room. And I like to put at least 2 of them on one side and one on the other so they have to traverse back and forth across the map at least once. I got more time to try and affect them, do damage, lay an infection, everything I can to just make them struggle. And they are going to struggle, and I'm going to make sure of it. So as you notice, look, everywhere they're at, there's just a swarm of zombies and lickers and dogs, just eating them, just tearing them up. And I'm going to keep putting more. And I don't believe I directly try to interfere here with them. I almost jump into the crawler by mistake, get the grenade launcher. That's another thing too, is with this, you can make them, you keep pestering them with creatures, they'll tend not to look for supply zombies, which is good for Annette, because you got a chance of getting that large generator mod, which if you can keep it in your hand helps out a lot. With a spam build, of course, it does have a tendency to clog your hand, but it doesn't cost anything to get rid of it. You can just throw it out. So that's a good pickup, and the ivy is a good pickup, although people do tend to use torches a lot these days. Alright, so yeah, so jumping the creature here. Now this is a point when I do start intervening because I want to make sure that she doesn't get an easy way out on this. I'm going to come at her, I bid her there, and I'm going to swipe at her. And I believe, yeah, I'm going to down her here. So she's down. So their key holder's down. Now, I know I'm not going to get to lock the door in time before she gets in here, but I'm just going to keep putting stuff down. Put a liquor in here. Get back in the zombie. She got... Yeah, I think she got back up. That's fine. That is okay. Because we're going to, go at Jill here for doing that. We're going to make sure she's having a bad day. So look and see, there's the fresh blood coming into play, because now you know, that zombie grabbed back without me even having to try. Before that, they probably would have just sit there, maybe even took a claw swipe, would not have tried to grab her as effectively. But look, they're just spraying everything they've got, and they can't deal with this. Because I got these two pinned down. I don't know where their teammates are. So now I jump in Birkin here, and they're already in overtime. Now there's two down, and I just took 30 seconds off the clock, like, quick. And by the time I get out here with Birkin, it's over. So there you go. Area 2. Wore them down. And that was not a bad team. I mean, they weren't great. You're going to see at the last match, you're going to see a really good team. And what it took to actually get through all this, and just barely. So we're on to the next one. Alright, yeah, so got another one. This one's at the abandoned park. Now this is a little bit more interesting match here, I do believe. So we're going to see, we got like a Jill, a January, a Sam, and a Martin, it looks like. Sorry, because I'm looking at a split screen, so I can't see everything as clearly as I'd like. So this is not a bad comp against this. January makes a big difference where she can increase the cost of your skills if she's set up like that, and that's a big problem. I would much rather have to deal with her being a camera countermeasure than that. That's one of the things about stopping a creature build with a net, like a spam build, that comes in real handy. A lot of people don't think about. All right, so once again, I'm just putting a bunch of stuff down here for them to have to deal with to start out. I want to make sure that they, have to deal with stuff pretty much non-stop. So we got Samuel going over there to the right, going over to the east side. Now back over here in this room, I'm going to put a couple of things down. Now I believe I burned that because I had the liquor out, so that's fine. So the liquor's down to 4. I'm spamming some stuff in here. Now I'm not really caring about where they're oriented or facing. I don't tend to notice that when I'm in the middle of when I'm playing a match. That's something I do need to get better at. I know someone pointed out in the comments on the Nightmare Annette video. Thank you, and by the way, thank you for everyone who watched that. That's so amazing that I got such a big response on that. I mean, it means a lot. So thank you very much to everybody who watched that video. I do appreciate it. So shout out to you guys there. I should have said that at the beginning, but I'd already recorded that footage. So anyway, so yeah, she's trying to speed run here and get through all that. So she's gonna actually manage to do so, I believe. This January's not stopping for anything. Excuse me, sorry, I had to take a drink there. I'm doing this all in just one go, so just bear with me. And it's gonna be a long video and a long recording session, so I might have to take a drink now and then. I'm human, deal with it. So, alright, so January got through there. So you notice I'm not locking the door behind her. For one, it's a waste of time, but two, I want to let that liquor out. Because I know that behind me, she's opening the gate to the back to the main part of the floor where the exit is. So I want to make sure these creatures can get out of that gate. They can come at them. And now, now two of them have started trying to go along that west side of the first area, so they're actually backtracking through some of the stuff that January ran past. So I'm getting some use out of those creatures actually. So they probably tagged them a couple of times. Now we got this liquor in here just raising hell on them, keeping them off the exit, which is nice. Now January's gonna get my camera here, and that's fine. That is totally fine. I'm fine with dealing with that. So they're gonna get through area 1. That's okay. So I still managed to net knock about 21 seconds off of them. And that's just the start of it. I believe this is the first match you'll see where someone makes it to Area 3. So here in Area 2, you're going to notice I'm going to build just a mass army right here in the middle. I'm just going to put a line of creatures here just to hold the line. And they're going to run in. It's going to be beautiful. There's just a battle about to start here. Especially with Valatov, the Burner of Nations. Which I don't know if this Valerie has that build or not, but I would think most of them. I think any Valerie player is not running that build right now. So here we go. So yeah, so watch, they're going to tangle here. Now while they're dealing with that, I'm going to go check over here and see what's going on with Yorick. Okay, so this is not the best spawn for him. I prefer for him to spawn in the room on the far west side of the map, where you've got a door to close and they've got to go around that little waist high partition all the way down and back up to get to the security device, and then all the way back through that narrow little thing and back out. So unless they come in force, it's easy to trap a couple of them in there. But, you know, I didn't want to take the chance of moving York over there. I just went ahead and tried to fight him off here. Which, once again, I know they're going to drop. They're probably going to kill. They're going to kill York, and that's fine. That is totally fine. I don't care about them basically getting time here as long as I'm doing damage and they are fighting my creatures. They're not just trying to get around them and running past them. That's another way to counter this build, is to try and stun and run and not actually fight the creatures. That's probably the best way to counter an Annette build, is just not to fight her, to run from them, to run in, get the stuff, get out, only fight what you have to, and save your resources for Area 3 when you might not have a choice but to fight a big swarm of them and to deal with the biocores. So once again, you can see, look, we got, you know, January taking out my camera there, so that's fine. I'm just going to hop over here. Yeah, see, they got York, and that's okay. So security devices are going to be the targets now. So there's one here, but I don't think they go for it, I believe. Yeah, because I dropped Birkin and then chase him out of here, which, you know, I don't get a lot of good use out of Birkin. He's basically, for me, just a barrier, just trying to scare them off or anything, or try to grab them and waste time, try to hold up their, whoever's got the whatever key item or anyone that I can pin down, and also to draw out and just bait out grenades. I like to get grenades and Molotovs and flashbangs and everything on Birkin instead of my creatures. Is ideal. So they got one security device. I gave up one here, and I believe they're going to get to Area 3, which I, you know, spoiler. But just watch and see. Now, look, they're on me. I mean, they are not. This is not a slouch team. I mean, they're doing good. They're taking out cameras. Their January's good. They're you know, trying to crowd control. But I just try to make sure the crowds are too big. So see, they got one there. I think one of them might be running the. I think they might have a USB. I see a lot more people doing that these days. You didn't used to see it as much, but I see people comboing the USB stuff with the skateboard and the, I think it's the army boots, both the speed boosters, which I've tried playing some survivors with that. My survivor main is Jill, and I'm running that right now with a mixtape 3, so that makes her pretty freaking nasty. I might do a survivor build at some point, but for right now I'm focusing just on masterminds, because I think survivors have enough going for them as it is. They don't need any more help. And I made sure to put a match in here that I'll lose to show this build is not unbeatable, that it's not just, you know, I didn't just, you know, pick and choose matches where I crushed some survivors or just, you know, managed to win. I mean, I put one, I'm going to put one at the end here, and that's why this video is so long. It's, you know, is because I've got a lot of these matches that took a while, because they, I mean, fought me all the way through, which you're going to see coming up here in a few minutes. So right here, I'm just basically doing everything I can. Like I said, I'm just putting creatures because I can keep doing it basically as long as I need to. You know, I don't run out of bioenergy. I always get more. They don't get infinite ammo. They don't get infinite credits. They don't get infinite repair kits. You know, unless they're Becca and Jill, and then they, you know, do have unlimited, or they do have resources that they, you know, can always fall back on every so often with their fever skill. Especially Becca with that, the rocket launcher that just basically shouldn't exist. I mean, that's one balance sheet they need to make. They need to take away that working with special weapons at all, any of them. Minigun, the flamethrower, the rocket launcher especially. I mean, that's just way too... I mean, there's a reason those things, you can't buy more ammo for them. They only have the amount they come with. It's a balance issue. But anyway, so what I'm doing here, I'm killing one. Now, I grabbed their January because I believe she's the one that had any flashbangs or anything, and I know Martin had already used his fever skill once to stop me, so I knew I could get a kill here, so I'm taking some time off. Now, a lot of masterminds at this point would have probably just held back and let them get out, but I wanted to see what more I could get off of them. So I was hoping to get at least about 5 or 10 seconds, but I managed to actually drop in Birkin here and chase them back out. So I'm going to take a lot more time from them, especially with that kill on January, because now she's got to come all the way back from the spawn, all the way back to the exit, and deal with any like leftover creatures that are running around. So now I'm going to spawn more here. Now I'm sorry, I get sidetracked here when I'm doing post commentary. I wasn't doing very good explaining the social distancing I was doing there to make sure they can't just use one grenade or anything or one Molotov and take out all my creatures. That's something I've tried to stop doing in my spam builds, is spamming them all together unless I'm in just one room. So I'm going to go after him here and try to get a couple more seconds off of him. So once again, there's some more. There's a bite. So see, I mean, they're going to get out, but look, now I've got them down to under 2 minutes before they're going to get to the next area. So now they've got 3 minutes and 59 seconds going into area 3, where I'm going to have just a huge swarm with concentrated enhancer going, and they're just, you know, really going to be feeling it. So with this, and I got to give them credit though, they didn't disconnect. I actually did have a couple more matches in here, but as long as the video was, it was over an hour at that point, so I cut them out because it's basically just disconnects. I had like 2 people disconnect in each match. Once in area 2, and then once just right at the bat on area 1, they saw me and just dropped. I don't know if I played them before, or they just didn't want to deal with the nets. But they one disconnects, they disconnect before it even locked in. So right here I see the biocores at the center, so I'm going here to cut them off, put some creatures down, which you see I kept Sam off the switch for a minute, enough to get it back up before they're able to get in there. So bam, now they're stuck there with my creatures till that thing resets. The liquor is doing work. I'm gonna keep putting creatures down here, put some regen on them, which even with the concentrated, they don't need the concentrated enhancer at this point. I mean, they even just with berserker and regen are sufficient. But you see, you got these boys down here chilling out, just hanging out in reserve, but they're eventually going to start making their way over. So now notice here I got a liquor down. I just went ahead and dropped it because I missed that I had an efficiency mod up, or it might have popped in after I dropped the liquor. I can't remember. So concentrated enhancer on as much of the stuff over here as I can get, because that makes them very effective. So there's one biocore. So they got one. Now they're very close. It's a lucky spawn for them for the second one. They've literally just got to go across the bridge, and they're right there. At least Sam, anyway. So, you know, I'm going to make it as hard as possible. I'm going to, you know, raise the gate so I got a little more time to drop some creatures in here. So you notice I caught one of them there. Alright, so regen on that guy. So now I got the dog, got another zombie. Put a crawly boy down, I think. No, I'm going to go ahead and drop the liquor. The dog. I think I was trying to get away from using the crawly boy in here if I could, until they get closer, until they get over there and start.
Too close for my liking.
Yeah, it's a priority thing. Plus, there's no like door here to use the crawler to its best effect. Now, I was going to raise the gate, but I saw my other creatures coming. The ones that are already buffed. So you saw them coming in just for a second there, and there they come. Reinforcements, see? And this is why I say watch your creature count, because sometimes those extra creatures that you've already dropped in will make their way over to back you up just in the nick of time. So, yeah, there we go. See? Good team. Good team, but they just couldn't handle it. It's too much. Just too much. And there they go. Full wipe. So, I mean, that's, I think all of them but Jill were pretty high rank. No Jill in the one other one. January might have been lower. Alright, but here we go with another one. So we got a Jill, a Valerie, Samuel, and a January at the casino. Now, I can't remember. I think this might actually be the team that beat me. I think it is, yeah, because of the Koala Valerie. So, yeah, this is the match that I've been alluding to all video where I lost. So, and I put this in intentionally to show that this build is not unbeatable. It's not a cheese build. I mean, this is not like, you know, trying to force disconnects or lag people out. You're going to see that this build can be countered by a team that, with the right composition and who is coordinated and knows what they're doing. And these guys do. I mean, they're going to, I mean, they move fast, they move hard, and they just blaze through everything. And, you know, they're smart. And there's a point here at the end where they go together. I believe they go to the center thing when I'm trying to spam a final room full of zombies and get some other additional weapons that probably I should stay on the center, play more, and keep the slot machine on lockdown, but you live and you learn, right? So, alright, so going into this same thing, you know, starting out, get everything, turn off the lights, lock the door, start putting some creatures down, working my way back toward where they're coming from. Lock the door again. Because like each time you do that, of course, it gives you another level of locking. You can go from level 1 to level 2 to level 3. which you know, which I say because beginning masterminds may not realize that if they've never played before, that that's how you get to that. You don't have to have, like, you know, a Spencer with umbrella door locks to do that, or have it preset. So there we go again, lock level 3 max. So the door is going to take a bit to break down, and they don't have a Tyrone to kick it.
Each step they take brings
So they're going to have to, you know, deal with these creatures, because otherwise they're going to die trying to break the door down. So, and you see I'm putting more in. I'm just letting, you know, and I'm pretty much letting them have the northern room here. They're not in it yet, but now I'm going to start working on building this way. So these things are going to start filtering through that door he broke down because he left it open behind him, because he's running in fear because of all the creatures. But notice he's like all on his own here. I don't know what the other people are doing at this point. I'm not even checking. They're probably going around looking for supply zombies and credits, ammo, which, I mean, look, they're, you know, already kind of low on time, but that's going to change. Alright, so if you notice, you know, turn off the light. I would lock the door, but the crawler's in the way. There we go. Okay, I got it locked, just which is not going to buy me much time, but, you know, and you just want to try to get as much time out of them as you can. You want to try to siphon them for time, damage, poison. I mean, everything you can get out of them. You want to just make it as inconvenient as possible. Yeah, I accidentally jumped into the crawler there. I was trying to close the door because I didn't realize Sam wasn't still in there. That's so they got around me. See, these guys are good. See, I didn't notice them come out there. So now they're going over there, and I've got all these creatures over here that are basically just useless. So I know they're not going to get over there.
You continue to resist.
I think I just end up trying to get over there and open the door to let them out, because I know they're not going to make it in time. But I'm hoping if they're trying to look for a supply zombie, I can... Yeah, see, they're not even trying. Probably because they know they can spin to win in Area 3. The casino map, that's, you know, unique feature for it is it's got that damn slot machine that can give them extra resources. That's why I really try to win casino matches in Area 1 or 2. Area 3 I do not like in the casino for Mastermind. Alright, so getting some regen on these guys, and once again, same strategy you see me do before. I'm just going to be trying to populate creatures at them. Now, Yorick here, he is... Yeah, this is a bad spot for him. Once again, trying to buy some time so I can stash him over here. Just where they can't, you know, it's harder to see him when they bust through the door. You know, I'm just sticking him somewhere just to get him out of the way for now. Yeah, this match I'm not playing strategically as well as I should be. That's another reason they probably beat me. Now, this is also the match where instead of the increased damage, the Razor Claws 2, that I had the augmented limbs on instead. So you're going to notice my creatures in this segment, this match, are going to move faster with the Berserk on, and they're going to move faster in general, but that's not going to give me enough. Like, if I'd have had the extra damage on here, I might have been able to wear them down quicker and win. I might have beaten them by Area 3, but so once again, I'm just, you know, I'm putting down creatures. You know, that's the... Yeah, the Berserker zombie who shares his buffs with everybody, so now he's going to give regen to everything that's in it. See, he's giving regen to those creatures that are in range of him, which I alluded to that earlier, which I like that. You know, that guy, he's great, especially when you're having to refresh creature spawn. When they're fighting their way through a horde and you're having to put fresh units in the back, if you've got one of those up that's buffed, it'll share those as long as they're all tightly packed together. They're within that same area of basically what the infectious gas would be. Now, if they move out of that, they'll lose the buff very quickly. I mean, it'll persist for just a minute, like just a hot second while they're moving, but after that, it'll wear off. Which can be handy to buff Yorick in a pinch, too. Now, notice they went right by Yorick. I mean, they could have killed him right there, but they didn't see him. You know, that's not always going to work, but sometimes it does. I just did that as a quick and dirty way to move him real out of the way compared to where he was, because they definitely would have saw him at the door. So now they know he's not there. So notice I didn't try to fight him in the room. I'm going to fight him in this hallway where there's not as much area for them to move around. Now these guys, they found him quick. The Valerie and the Jill up here.
Take its security card.
Kowalery.
I still have time to stop you.
Alright, so they dropped Yorick, so they're back up to almost 5 minutes now. I mean, you see that Molotov thing? That's one thing that's really helps them too, is the Valatov, because she will at some points, I believe, in this match start chucking some Molotov cocktails, quite a few of them. That's why I tend now to actually focus Valerie's as much or more than Sam's now. If I'm trying to take over a creature and bite somebody, I'll try to stun lock Valerie as much or more than a Sam. Because, man, Sam, he's not as bad as he used to be, but God, dude, those Molotovs, man, they hurt. I mean, I'm just not sure who thought that was a good idea to put that combination of equipment with her passives into the game. I don't know if that was a foul up at Neobards or Capcom or where, but that's game breaking. Yeah, so once again, I'm just trying to make sure that they are going to have to fight their way through to get here. I'm going to put some more creatures down here. Camera rotation's jammed. Not a big deal. We're off already. Now see, I didn't have a chance to get as many inside here, so you know, I'm trying to push them back out. And for some reason, I don't think to drop Birkin right now, to run them back out of here, but oh yeah, there it goes. Okay, I was going to say I should be dropping Birkin at some point. There we go. Because this is exactly the situation I say Birkin for, is mainly Area 2. But I mean, I rarely get him to be active in Area 1 anyway, but yeah, you know, this is basically just trying to roadblock him here because this is the last thing they got left, so I'm just trying to stay in their way here. Make sure they got to wait for at least a little bit longer to get in there and get that security device. Which, that USB thing, I think a lot of people run it now because it affects the shields in the prison too. Which I didn't get a prison match when I was trying to do this. Not one. I wanted to get a match for the prison, but I was hoping the one that I recorded today would be the prison, but it wasn't. Now that map, though, I will say I'm not as good on because it's still a newer map. I'm not as familiar with it, know where all the best spots are to, set up a creature swarm and all the ins and outs of it. But hopefully as I get to play it more, I'll learn it. But I mean, the build is sound. I mean, this should work on pretty much any map. I mean, because it's basically just spawn more creatures than they can kill is what it boils down to, and you have the ability to spawn so many creatures that they just generally speaking, they're gonna most teams aren't gonna be able to handle it. These guys are good though. They're sticking together, they're coordinated, except this Jill, she's just hanging out here, which was actually smart of her, because that way if the other ones got wiped out somehow, the other 3 got wiped out and the timer ran out, they wouldn't lose. They go into Area 3 as long as one survivor's on there when overtime starts. That's another balance change they put in, along with the blue force field safe zone. Yeah, so they killed my camera over there. Once again, I'm just go ahead putting some zombies down here, just trying to. I believe that might have been an infectious zombie. I was trying to just get some infection on them because it's been a few days since I played this match. So, but you're getting the gist of it. So here we go. Starting out Area 3. Go to the second camera, put down my creatures where the other ones spawn in for the preset. Try to get an enhancer on them. Yep, there we go. Now I'm going to try to hit the slot machine. I think I'm waiting too long though. I think one of them might get out here to do it. Put a crawler over there, just try to block everything off. Yeah, she got over to pull the slot. See, I should have done that first. Yeah, that spin to win thing, man, that's a unique thing on this map, and it really is something I need to watch more, because it's a way for them to get spark shots, like a lot of them, and those hurt when you're playing a creature build. I mean, because not as much as like a Daniel, when you really just got one creature at a time out, maybe, but oh man, it's not fun. So now, yeah, see, they're doing one thing to do here. They're just fighting everything that I put down, and then they're gonna take out my camera. I know it. I can't stop it. So I just come over here, try to, I believe, hit the slot machine. It's on cooldown. Boom, camera broken again. And I believe she's she's fighting me with it. So over here to this biocore and start setting up a swarm in here. Now this is the point when I started not playing as effectively as I should have. I just went right to the biocore to set up a swarm there, and I'm just going to let them run over here with no opposition. This is when I start. Now that I'm watching it back, I realize the mistakes I'm making. I really should have just kept swarming just right outside of where they were and made them fight their way all the way over here. Made them fight everything in here. But I was trying to just put up a big wall of creatures to stop them here. But now you're going to see there's the fire coming. See, there's a Molotov or a flamethrower. And see, January just ran right through here. And boom, they already broke the biocore. Look how quick that was. Destroyed. Like it wasn't anything. Now there's a point here when I actually do start to hold them back, and I should have kept here and kept spamming them. Now this is a point when I really feel I actually completely let the match go, because now instead of trying to hold them here, I just go ahead and jump over to the next biocore and just try to basically set up over there. And I think I probably could have held them or stopped them around here, maybe even in the center if I'd have went and spammed it out. But I just let these guys just hang out over here as they get out of the room. And this guy's already breaking the door open, so I'm thinking, okay, they're going to work their way over. And the next biocore is just right up above it. So now see, they're already over there. See, I hung out in here too much. Now what I do here is I'm trying to buy time, drop Birkin in, make sure they can't get to the biocore. So this is where I made a smart decision to recover, I believe, which, you know, this is a better option than trying to spam more creatures in here, because I'm also going to rebuild some bioenergy while I'm in Birkin, and I'm going to ride him out, I believe, all the way till he times out. So, oh, and look, there's a minus 15 up there. So see, my creatures have made their way out and they're harassing them from the back. So they're coming in. Look, they're just, you know, I've got my creatures in the back and they can't move forward to get away from them. So they're having to fight them. So they're getting bitten. So they're bleeding time, and I believe it's like, you know, this is one of these things where I almost won, and I probably would have if I'd have played a little better. I believe I would have won this match, but you know, human error is part of it. It's part of the game. Yeah, I got him on the other side there. You know, I got him with the splash damage. Okay, so I'm out of Birkin, so now they're coming in here. And there's January getting on the camera. Because, yep. See, there she is. And then she's locking it down. Yep, there. So now I'm starting to fight back, but I'm not going to make it in time because these biocores are just like paper. If you're not playing the Spencer, they're just like paper. Which they need a buff in general, or they need to put those damn shields on all the biocores from the prison. That would actually be a good thing. So coming in here, now this is a point when, you know, I'm trying to make my last stand here. I'm just trying to get as much creatures out as I can here. And I'm kind of getting indecisive about keeping the generator up or getting it out of my hand, but I decided to keep it in my hand for a minute, just to get that boost of the biocore buff, because I'm trying to completely fill this room up with creatures, even though they're starting to filter out down the damn stairs. But you're going to see when I look at the map here in a minute, you're going to see my other creatures that were left out there starting to make their way up to this area. They're following the survivors up. So I've got some in the back, because I'm at 12 out of 12 right now. So now that's when I get rid of the mod. Now at this point, that's where I'm going to say it's better to have the creatures in here instead of coming up as rear guard harassment, because I need them here to try and overwhelm them and bite them and drain enough time to shut them down before the door opens. But they're going to fight them off enough to where they're going to, you know, some of them are going to make it. So now you see the full look. See, there's the Molotov going. That was really the clincher right there. I mean, that Molotov took out my whole horde that I'm having to try and rebuild. Although with the boost from the biocore from the door opening, because see, they're there. I mean, there's nothing I can do. But I did, I believe, drop the Valerie. So she's having to, you know, try to make her way back. So of all the ones I did kill in this, I'm glad I got the Val. So there's Birkin just trying to see if I can grab them from inside there and pull them out. No, they're too far in. They're already taking the escape route. They're leaving Valerie behind to die. And that's about it. So I got one of them. And as you can see, Val was not able, even with her Molotovs, to get through that horde that was waiting for her, that was still out there. So
You
But there you go. So yeah, I'll consider that a loss. Three out of the 4 escaped. So